Hi, my name is Mary Burton and I write romantic suspense novels. And my latest romantic suspense, The Seventh Victim, is in stores now. I wanted to take a little bit of time today to talk about adding suspense to your novels. It doesn't happen by accident. In fact, there's some tried and true methods that many readers or writers will use to kind of keep their readers turning the pages. The very first thing I do is I set the stakes. I usually write a prologue, and in that prologue I show the killer, I'm in his point of view, and I show just about what a real bad guy he is. You'll know pretty much by the end of page 5 or 6 that my hero is up against a really bad guy. The next thing I do is I choose a setting very carefully. I don't just, it's not random. If you always notice that it's either hot or cold or my books are in a remote area, that's not by accident. You know, the tougher I make it on my hero and heroine, the more suspense, the more tension and conflict there's going to be in the story, and the more reason that the reader will have to turn the pages. The next thing I think about is pacing. I like to start the story, chapter 1, 30 seconds, maybe a minute before the world starts to change for my main character. I might give you a glimpse of their everyday life, but very quickly things start to unravel and change. You don't want to spend a lot of time on backstory or description here. You want to get the reader in the story, and then later you can weave in a little bit of that backstory or description, but I wouldn't do it initially. There'll also be times when you want to slow the pacing down just a little bit. Take a moment here, take a moment there, either for humor or to develop the romance, just to give your reader a chance to breathe. But don't give them too much time because you don't want them to put that book down. Toward the end of the book, the pacing will pick up again. The chapters will get shorter. Even the paragraphs and the sentences will get shorter. You know, you're moving faster. You're almost at breakneck pace at this point because you're racing to the finish line to catch the killer. I'm also very aware of time in the book, not just pacing, but time. I date stamp each chapter so that you know from the very beginning that the time is of the essence. In fact, my books rarely go more than a week or two in the space of time. I like to keep it fast. I like to keep the characters on the run. It's a fast-paced read. I also like to add mini mysteries. They're not huge mysteries. They certainly won't sustain the weight of a book, but they're small questions that keep readers kind of curious and engaged. You know, they may find a box. What's in the box? There might be a loud knock on the door in the middle of the night. Who's on the other side of the door? There may be a little bit of a backstory about a woman that vanished 30 years ago. You know, I don't always answer those questions right away, and sometimes it's enough to keep the reader kind of turning those pages. But do make a point, if you raise a question, make sure you answer it, because your reader will be frustrated if you don't. Another thing I like to do is weave in some false clues, because your average detective is going to interview people that may not tell the truth or only half truth. They may have mountains of forensics that that need to be sifted through. Some will lead to the killer and some won't. But weave in some false clues. Just make sure, though, that you weave in the real clues, because when you have that big reveal or twist at the end, your reader will want to go back and look for the clues that they may have missed, and they need to be there. So those are just a few kind of tried and true methods I use, and I thought I'd share them with you here today. I hope you've enjoyed, and thanks for stopping.